Hey, soul survivors, we are going to talk about how can we have a healthy relationship. A lot of times, if you're with somebody who's struggling with mental illness or a narcissist, things like that, communication can be poor. It's also good to learn communication skills because poor communication can be one of the most damaging factors in a relationship, and it can often lead to its demise. So here are some tips, some things that can help understand in which how poor communication can ruin a relationship. So misunderstandings, poor communication will lead to misunderstandings between partners. And if partners can't clearly express their thoughts and feelings, feel safe to do that, it can lead to confusion, assumptions, misunderstandings, and this can damage the relationship. Also, if there's a lack of intimacy, communication can falter. It's a crucial element to have that intimacy, that closeness, that safeness. Without effective communication, the partners aren't going to be able to connect with each other on an emotional level. And this will lead to a lack of intimacy. And that's kind of the glue that keeps it together. And resentment. When people don't communicate effectively, it'll build those feelings. You'll be full of resentment. And it can happen when one partner feels like they're not being heard. People need to be validated. They also need to be understood. Or where there's a lack of trust in the relationship due to poor communication. Sometimes we have to reinforce comfort our partner, make them know exactly what is happening. And poor communication can also lead to conflict within a relationship. When people aren't open and honest with communication, the partners might not be able to resolve their differences or work through issues. And this can cause tension, ultimately leads to a breakdown of the relationship. If you are in a toxic relationship, you can see how misconceptions or paranoia or blaming, all these things will destroy the relationship within time. Also, distance. When partners don't communicate effectively, it starts to disconnect each other, and it just leads to emotional distance. And the partners may begin to feel like they're living separate lives. And that can also lead to the end of a relationship. So, what are the leading causes of breakup and divorce? There are many different factors that contribute, but here are some. Infidelity, cheating, or being unfaithful in a relationship is one of the most common reasons for breakup and divorce. This infidelity breaks that trust, and it's often difficult to repair. Once that damage is done, it's really hard to have a stable foundation. And communication problems, not being able to express your feelings or listen to each other, or arguing constantly, will lead to the breakdown. If people are incompatible, sometimes couples just simply grow apart and they realize they're no longer compatible. This is due to differences in values, interests, life goals, possibly beliefs in a religion. Also, financial problems. A lot of people that struggle with money, these problems can be a major source of stress in the relationship, especially if one is a spender and the other is a saver. So there needs to be common ground, good communication, or if there's even a significant income disparity. The more stressors from the outside, whether it's financial or whatever, the more stress, the harder it is on the relationship. And we talked about that intimacy, whether it's physical or emotional. People start to tend to drift apart and lose that connection that brought them together in the first place. So it's important to keep that. Also, addiction is one of the main causes. This can be substance abuse, whether it's alcohol or drugs, or other types of addictions, could be like gambling. These can all put a strain on a relationship, and the partners may feel like they are competing with that addiction for the partner's attention or affection, or it can also destroy finances and the communication. Domestic abuse, whether it's physical, emotional, even verbal, can cause irreparable damage. Words can really harm people, and it can cause damage to the relationship and be a dangerous situation for the victim. Also, people who deal with in-laws, sometimes the in-laws are fantastic. Other times there's conflicts with them, or even extended family members. These can create tensions in the relationship and even lead to a breakup or divorce if the issues are not addressed. So, like I said, there are many factors. They often don't act alone, but they are usually interrelated and they need to be addressed. There are things I can help you with, or you can see a therapist to get that relationship back to where it's being. If you're caught in a toxic relationship, if the other person is not willing to compromise or work on the situation, your mental health could be at stake too. So it's something to consider. I'm here to help you along the way. And thanks for watching. Please like, those help with the algorithm, subscribe, or share it. This will help someone. See you soon.